Science is defined as observation or a system of observations and study of general truths and laws. Science should be based on evidence drawn from examination. In this day and time, most rarely ever examine or study. Most just Google. Tapping into a company that gets its main revenue from corporations that place advertisements on their platform.
The way science works in America and all over the world is like this. And this is the best way I could say how science works here in America and all over the world, it being controlled by, racism and white supremacy, right? Science works like this. It'll say, you see this shirt? It's black. If you don't believe me, we'll label you a quack or we'll take away your funding. Right? That's how science works right now, right? How science is supposed to work, it's supposed to be non-biased, right? However, it's few and far in between, right? Because anybody who thinks otherwise, all you have to do is look specifically at all the doctors and the scientists who disagree with the narrative of COVID. You can do the same thing when it comes to the narrative of AIDS and HIV. Interestingly enough, the same players that were in HIV are also in COVID, But science, as I defined it, once I studied in Ghana and Africa, science is only three things. Science is simply the idea of looking at something, right? So you
observing.
It is observing. It is experimentation and validation, right? So science is observation, experimentation, and validation. That's all science is, right? All that other stuff is just, put there in place just to, take you away from, the simplistic part of it. Observation, experimentation, and validation.
Well, the validation part, as we were just building on it, you have a bunch of people who have come together and bought the science or bought this particular sector of the observation, and now that they don't validate you, now you're crazy because they don't validate you.
Exactly.
Right. And this is the science, like the different aspects of academia. There's a certain group of people who co-sign you, and if they don't co-sign you,
exactly, you're a quack.
You're a quack.
Yeah, you're a quack, or you don't deserve any funding. This is the same thing that happened to a great scientist by the name of Peter Doomsberg. Peter Doomsberg is one of the foremost, highest reaching experts on virology. Peter Doomsberg disagreed completely, as in the midst of at least another 1,000 so scientists as well that disagree with the narrative of HIV and AIDS, right? Peter Doomsberg also disagreed with COVID, right? But, the more and more you see the disagreements, the more and more you will find that there is backlash, just like you said, because this part of academia doesn't consider it deserving, to be considered as a legitimate study. The reason why that is because they're backed by these corporate conglomerates, right? These corporate conglomerates pay for these institutions, right? So when you go to medical school, how you going to talk about Pfizer when Pfizer is the one that put up the money for you to get your scholarship? How you going to do that when Merck put up the money for you to get your internship? You see what I'm saying? CNN, of course they're going to put all this stuff out. It's sponsored by Pfizer. So all you got to do is start following the money, but if you start following nature and you deal with all of which nature offers, you would find that there are, an abundance of things that can, easily remedy some of the issues that plague us as a people.
You must do your own research, as I did.
if Mega did this.